Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
Hello and welcome to Real Conversations with Lisa and Susan. I'm Susan.
And I'm Lisa. Welcome.
Today we're going to be talking about tourism. Who's coming to our region and where are the folks who live here going? And kind of, what is there to do here once they get here? And how has the economy impacted tourism as an industry locally, maybe even, a little broader?
Yeah. Well, the thing it is about tourism is one of those things for me that's sort of in the background when you live at a place.
Yeah.
When I lived in Manhattan, tourism was a big deal, but it never was like a big deal to me. I just lived there. When I live here, I don't think in terms of, what people are coming to see and, what attracts people to this region to visit, to go on vacation, until I maybe go to Lake George or go to Saratoga, and then you're really present to it.
And I don't know if you have this experience, but, I always think, I'm going to do so many things, especially now. I mean, it's warm weather that we're having at the time we're taping the show, and this is the place that so many people, not only from, around the state, but, around the world come to this region for things like the track and SPAC and Tanglewood and Glimmerglass. So there are really great things to do, but I always think, Sunday night has, the whole weekend has come and gone, and Sunday night I'm like, I didn't do anything, because I was so busy, like running errands and I don't know.
Well, and I think that's really a good point about today's show is to talk about, what are some of the things for folks if they're not in a place where they can afford to go on a big vacation or something.
Did you ever have a staycation?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I did a staycation. I'll tell you, I was exhausted by the end of the staycation because I did something all the time. There was no downtime.
Well, one thing is there's so much to do here, and I'm really excited about today's show to kind of talk about that. But I'm also interested to find out, like, people who live here, where do they go? Where are they going? What are they? If there's any sort of information about that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah, that's great.
And also, because we like to talk about economic development and all of that, we're probably going to talk about it also in the context of the economy and unemployment and things that we've been dealing with as we try to get ourselves out of this recession.
And tourism is a business. I mean,
absolutely.
That's fundamentally, it's a business. So we're going to take a very short break and come back with our guests to talk more about regional tourism. Welcome back to Real Conversations with Lisa and Susan. And today we're talking about regional tourism. And we're very excited. We have two wonderful guests. Today we have with us Michele Vennard, who is the CEO and President of the Albany County Visitors Bureau and Convention Bureau. I said that backwards. I knew I was going to do that. And we also have with us Denise Rucinski, who is a travel agent with Wade Travel and Tours. Welcome. And I'm sorry. I knew I was going to blow it, right? So tell us a little bit about the Albany County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Said it better that way.
Well, we're an organization. We're our own not-for-profit corporation, and we've been in business now for almost 35 years.
Wow.
So we have a pretty good track record on how to build travel business into this destination. And we're fortunate in that this region has a great combination of not only leisure travel, but also meetings and conventions. So it kind of keeps us on an even keel, and we're not subject to some of the great ups and downs that many other destinations have.
Yes. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. I just
Good.
want to get Denise in
Sure.
here and tell us a little bit about you. I know you've been a travel agent for quite a while, and tell us a little bit about Wade Travel and Tours.
Yeah, I've been a travel agent for 16 years. Wade Tours and Travel have been in business for 85 years. It's a family business, and their fifth generation is now participating in running the business. We have a fleet of 24 motor coaches, and we go far and wide across the U.S. A lot of it is local. We do a big charter business, but we also do day tours, multi-day tours, all around.
And you also book more extended travel too, right?
Yes, as a travel agent, I do trips all over the world. I do a lot of Europe, Caribbean, cruises, wherever people want a vacation.
Sounds really good.
All right, we're talking about regional tourism.
I don't care. I just want to go to the Caribbean.
It's a great place to go.
Yes. So let's just start talking about what are people coming here to see? What do you see as the big attractions?
Well, it's very interesting because there was a study just recently completed on travel motivators. Why do people travel? And some of those motivators we're very well positioned to take advantage of. For example, food is a huge, farm to table is part of that, is a very huge movement. We're very well positioned with sophisticated restaurants, and some of our other colleagues around us in Washington County and Columbia County are really big into the food, the farm to table effort. History, and we know we ace that one too.
Right.
Because we can, count our history back more than 400 years. And it's the authentic experience. That's another thing people are looking for. So all of our historic homes, some of our more unique attractions, I'm thinking of the USS Slater, which is the only World War II destroyer escort still afloat. We try to build our product on those things that are unique to the region.
Yeah.
Where are you marketing yourself to, and how?
Well, that's in this day and age, that's a very interesting question. We have we can track where people come from, where the geographic interest is. A lot of it is downstate into the Philadelphia area, northern New Jersey. So those are sort of our target areas. And as far as how do we do it, in this day and age, it's a blend of traditional media, print media, social media, viral media.
Are you plugged into the I Love New York
I was just thinking that.
economic development logo and that whole marketing structure there to market all of New York State?
Both as a county, but also as a region, and the I Love New York folks have a big emphasis now on region, and they do provide, and there has been an ongoing marketing matching funds program that we can take advantage of. It's an iconic logo that's been around for 30 years,
Yeah,
and
it
again,
sure
you
is.
need to really get in touch with those people that they will recognize something and say, oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And,
Now,
we
go ahead.
sorry, we use that too. We have their DVDs that we show on our motor coaches, and then put trips around those so that we can point it out and say, this is. We're going there on this date. So we do use the I Love New York as well.
Wow, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
because you take the local bus trips, which are within New York State.
Right.
right.
Now, I want to talk more about that in a second. But one question I wanted to ask you about the business of tourism. Like we mentioned in the introduction, that's a big business for a lot of. How about here?
Well, the last tracking that we have was 2009, which was not a great year, as we know.
Yeah.
And we anticipate 2010 numbers very shortly. But within the region, within the capital Saratoga region, tourism was a $1.3 billion business.
Oh my God.
In Albany
That
County.
was with a B,
That
right?
was a B, right.
Right.
In Albany County alone, it was almost 800 million. So that means over 30,000 jobs within this region, and hospitality business has always been a real job generator for those who need employment most oftentimes.
That's pretty
Michelle,
amazing.
do you know what our ranking is, what this region's ranking is compared to other metropolitan areas of similar size, and how has that changed over the years? Are
Well-
we moving up in the ranks? I would think that we are, but I don't know.
It's calculated by, you know, you're right, where we are in sort of other MSAs and all that. And we've always ranked just about in the middle because, again, we're a mature destination. We have other businesses. So while we have the bulk of the tourism business within the region in Albany County, you know, it's not like the Adirondacks is a real big spike because tourism is so much more important to them than it is here because we have a really great blend of business here in the capital region.
Denise, tell us some of the stuff that people are wanting to go see. Like, what are your most popular trips around here?
We do a lot of New York City and Boston. Generally, we go within 3 hours, so that it stays a one-day, you know, if we're talking about one-day trips. But there's a lot down in New York and along the Hudson River Valley, you know, because they just had their 400th anniversary, so a lot of those, the mansions, Kai Cut, and all those types of things, that's all become quite popular. But we're down in New York City, there's Broadway, there's the Intrepid, there's all the museums, we do Central Park tour. One of our most populars is our Brooklyn Pizza Tour. So you get a great tour of Brooklyn as well as get to try some of the
sounds
different
really
kinds
good.
of pizza. Yeah. So that's been very popular for us. And then Boston, of course, is the aquarium.
Yeah.
And we just started doing Old Town Trolley. So you can
Don't you go to
drive
Yankee
around.
Stadium too?
We do.
Because I
Thank
get
you for
those.
bringing
My
that up.
husband gets those brochures because we're all Yankee nuts where we live.
Yeah, we do. We do. We have tickets for every home game that the Yankees play. So that is a big one. So thank you for bringing that up.
Well, I've always thought
Don't
that
wanna
was one of the
forget that
big advantages of Albany is we're so close to such major cities, but we're also pretty great, you know, in and of ourselves. I mean, just amount of things that there are to do here.
Do you actually do the things?
Yeah.
You do the things here?
I've been on the Aqueducts tour a couple of
That's
times.
right, you have.
I like history. I'm a big history freak. So there's so much history here to be able to go see, you know, buildings at the Stockade, for example. You know, I just think is amazing. And, you know, so yeah, I like to do things around here. Plus there's, you know, the fairs, the festivals,
Right.
this,
Right,
you know.
that's true.
And then I'm not an outside winter person. I know people like that stuff. I don't understand it. But I'm not an outside winter person, but then, you know, all the stuff that's
Yeah,
here.
there's a lot of winter stuff.
You know, all
cross country
season.
skiing even. Yeah.
And downhill, and you know, there's
you know
just-
what? Like my favorite thing to do is I like to float down the. I think it's called the Brittenkill, which is up in Washington County.
County,
I love
yeah.
to go on those float trips. It's so relaxing.
Is that not surprising?
It's- you just-
I'm sorry.
I mean, it just brings out the kid in me. What can I say?
Well, and again, that we're so close to so many different
There's
things.
so many things to do, and they're still pretty much in their natural state too. I mean, you go on a float trip up there, and you know, maybe you see a pink float, and that's about, you know, as fancy as it gets. And I like that.
It's great.
Yeah, that is the authentic experience, and that's what people are looking for. So many people are looking for, and not necessarily the Disney-fied,
Right.
you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
We go west too, so we do a lot. Coming up, we do a lot with the wineries. The Finger Lakes, we do wine tasting tours, and we just did.
That's your new favorite thing.
No, I've been thinking a lot about the Finger Lakes because one of the best vacations that I ever had was I spent a week out at a couple of different inns because we did the wine tours and we stayed at different places along the trail, and they have lovely little bed and breakfasts. And I thought I had been to the wine country out in Northern California a couple of times, but didn't have enough time to travel out there and do that. So I thought it was remarkably similar to the experience I had had in Northern California. I was surprised.
Well,
And it was wonderful.
You talk about people coming from all over the world. I mean, it's Hudson Valley, it's Long Island, it's the Finger Lakes, and we've become a real wine destination.
Yeah.
And we're very central, and it's easy to get in and out of, you know, with our airports and.
And we haven't talked about Montreal.
We don't talk about much.
No, I mean, we talked about Boston, we talked about New York, and I always think of Montreal as another city that's, you know, within driving distance.
We do Montreal because of the passport thing. It's become
Right.
less popular.
That's what my question was going to be, because they've made that more difficult
Yeah.
now to cross that border.
Yeah. The enhanced driver's license is, you know, it does make it a little bit easier, but it's something that people don't have. They have
Right.
to go get it.
Yes.
So our Canadian trips have suffered from that. So, you know, that's one thing that was definitely happened.
Back to talking about the Albany tourism in general, or I mean specifically, what kinds of things, you know, really are bigger draws that you would like our audience to sort of know about and maybe check out for themselves?
Sure. Well, we have our perennial favorites, of course, the New York State Museum, and their September 11th exhibit has become very, very moving. But people are traveling specifically to see that, along with all the other wonderful things there are
That's
there.
a great museum.
Yeah. You talk about authentic history. The Albany Institute of History and Art is like the oldest museum there is, established in 1791. These are things that we can only find here. The Empire State Plaza, the view from the Corning Tower is magnificent. You're looking down the Hudson Valley into the Berkshires and up into the lower Adirondacks, for sure. One of the things we highlighted this year for people to take a look at, because we don't think of ourselves as a Revolutionary War destination, but we have a couple of pages in our visitor's guide that talks about all the sites in Rensselaer County and Washington County that are Revolutionary War sites. And we don't think how important we were to that war, but in this region we certainly were. And then there's the performing arts, Rep and the Palace and Proctor's, and that goes in SPAC, as you talked about. That goes all year round. So it gives us a great opportunity to take lots of messages out.
And lots of little clubs, like I think there's something called 8-Step Coffee House,
Oh,
which
that's
is
been
like
there forever.
a little, but it's lovely, you know, and Cafe Lena up in Saratoga, like little venues that are kind of tucked away, and you need to get out the newspaper and look and see what's available. I mean, if you look at the TU, the Thursday TU, they have that preview magazine.
You couldn't do it all.
It's daunting. You know, it really
Times
is.
Union, yeah.
And that's why, like on Sunday night, I'm like 8 o'clock on Sunday night, I'm like, didn't do anything, did the laundry, didn't do anything else, because it's like overwhelming.
Yeah, sometimes you have to just pick one thing and focus on that, and you know,
That makes sense.
enjoy that thing, and no, you didn't do the other things, right? Now, Denise, do you ever have people calling you, or people coming into this area? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, we do. For Wade Tours, we get a lot of people from, well, we have one couple that comes right to mind, Staten Island. They drive up, they stay overnight, and they do our tours because we originate in Schenectady. And we have people that come from other states as well, Phoenix, you know, Arizona.
So
all
they
different
fly
places.
here and then take your day
Yeah, they're
trips?
going to be here for visiting relatives or something, and you know, they want to do a particular tour that we might be originating, or they have relatives coming in from, you know, another state, or they want to go to New York or something. So yeah, we get a lot of people coming specifically to Schenectady to take our tours.
And how about like families like going together? Is that something that you see a lot of?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about traveling by motor coach, is that no one has to watch the road, no one has to watch the map, because it's all taken care of for you. So you have more time to talk to each other and spend time with each other instead of yelling at the guy that just cut you off, you know.
Yeah, and much less stressful.
I never do that.
Much less stressful.
Yeah.
What about like food and drinks along the way?
Yeah, it's laughing
you
when
bring your
Michele
own,
said that.
or-
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can on a motor coach. You can bring a small cooler, but people are very focused on food. what are they going to eat? When are they going to eat? And then when are they going to eat again?
That's right. It's all about the food.
It's all about the
Yeah,
food on
that's
the
part of the
tour.
entertainment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's important.
It's terrible to say, but it's true.
Yeah, but so we try to, have that go along with whatever the subject of the tour is, so that there's someplace close or someplace convenient. But yeah, you can bring things on the motor coach as well.
Well, I have to tell you, I went on the chocolate tour. Denise invited me on because she's also my sister, if you didn't notice.
What's the chocolate tour?
In New York City, there's a chocolate tour, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was fantastic.
Because there are
You
very
mentioned that to me
there's,
years ago,
there's
yeah.
several places in New York where they make their chocolate right in New York. So we went to their places of
A couple of different places, and we got to
confections.
test and
But
taste
it was
and
walking.
buy.
So you were burning up calories walking from one to the next,
Yeah.
right?
It's all right. I was
Yeah, it
eating
was-
dark chocolate. It's very good for you.
It was in March, I think, so it was before the Easter of that year, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so it was very pretty as well. Everybody had their Easter confections out. And,
How about the Tulip Fest? Is that something that draws people from around?
It certainly does, and lots of group tours from generally around the Northeast, and that's growing, and that's a really important festival for us, and it really gives us sort of again that focus in the spring, which is really great.
And it's related to our heritage of the Dutch.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it's a really great tie-in for us.
Well, we do have some beautiful gardens. I mean, you had mentioned
Yeah.
a lot about agriculture with the farm to, what did
Farm
you call
to table.
Farm to table, and we also have some beautiful gardens. The garden in Schenectady, in
Central
Central
Park.
Park,
Rose
and
Garden.
the Rose Garden there is an award winner, national award winning rose garden.
And it's all volunteers that
It's
care for that
remarkable.
garden. It's amazing. And I think those little things that are in the nooks and crannies of our towns are some of the things that I think it would be great if people sought out, not only to support the local business and all that, but also because it gives you more pride in your own hometown.
You know, a big, really the reason that Lisa and I do the show is because we want to highlight ways that people can improve the quality of their life. And when you know about these things that are tucked away in the nooks and crannies, and it's close to home, because people may not have the kind of travel dollar that they did 5-10 years ago. They're looking to stay home and save a little bit money in terms of, they don't have to get on a plane and fly someplace. It's good to know that within a short bus drive or just in the newspaper of what's going on locally, you can really enjoy your life here and find things to do and things to do with your families.
And as
things like
businesses
that.
relocate, I mean, those are what the executives look for, is that quality of life.
How has the economy impacted all of this in terms of tourism and people making choices about travel? What's your opinion about that?
Well, I know for us, we're guessing all the time, but for us it feels like when the economy was down, our motor coaches were full. And that's because they weren't taking longer vacations, they were
Right.
doing stay vacations and doing things close to home. And but when they were talking about layoffs in the government in Albany, then it seemed like the phones were quiet because they're kind of waiting for that shoe to fall to see if are they going to have a paycheck in a month, should they
Right.
book that
Yeah.
trip. So
It's called consumer confidence,
yeah,
right? That's
so
what it is.
yeah, that's what they were waiting. So, but we're guessing. We don't survey our customers or anything. It just seems like there are things that there's ebbs and tides, and some trips that are more full than others.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took our dip, like everyone did, and we're kind of, climbing our way back out. And we're ahead of last year, and we continue to look at in the travel business a variety of business. So we're not just as you are in the tour business. You're pretty much. I know we work with you on charters when meetings come in and things like that. But we have a great variety of business, which I think is really part of our good strength.
And there's a big convention business here too, with all the
would think.
hotels that we have, right?
Yes, absolutely. As a state capital, we do a great deal of meeting and convention business, a lot of state association business, and have been trying valiantly for a number of years to get a new facility that really meets the customer's needs.
So where do you think that's going? Is that going to happen? Wasn't it at, what was the price tag, like 300 million when I
No,
last
we're down
heard
to
about-
2.
Oh, down to 2.
About 220.
It's a scale back project.
220. But the time is right now to do that. I mean, and we hear it from our customers, we hear it from our clients all the time. The time is really right now to do it, to meet the needs of the clients so we can keep that vitality in the business and get us up beyond the 789 million to $1 billion.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is we have great food here. We have great history here, right? To
Right.
bring all these conventions.
Here's my request, though. One thing that I have been wanting to bring to this area, and I even wrote them, is the Antiques Roadshow. I wrote the producers of the Antiques Roadshow quite a few years ago and said, you know, we've got all kinds of history.
Right.
You know, everybody that I know has a basement full of junk. And I think we'd be great. We'd be perfect for an Antiques Roadshow. Does anybody ever talk about doing that?
No, that's more of a, those can be costly propositions, to be perfectly honest. You know, it often takes a great deal of incentive for a lot of those kinds of programs to come. But certainly having a facility that would be easy access with your treasures, because some of those can be rather big, and you know, we need that facility as well in order to accommodate some of those public events as well as meetings and conventions.
Now, where would people go to get more information on some of the things that you've talked about?
Real easy, www.albany.org.
That's got to be one of the simplest
It's
websites.
easier than that.
Albany.org. And people can get maps of the area. And
You can, but so much is online now. You know, you talk about the small clubs. You know, somebody's probably tweeting about that right at this minute, you know.
And do you have a Facebook page? People can go
Yes.
and like you on Facebook. I'm going to have to do that when I get back to my office. I'll like you on Facebook. And how about for your day trips and other tours that you do?
We have a website as well. It's www.wadetours.com, and we have all of our day tours listed there up through, you know, the date that we're working on. We also have a Central New York office, so you know, you need to watch for tours for this area or CNY, which is the Central New York office. So that's all on the website.
That's pretty cool.
It's great to be talking about fun things, you know, and having fun and enjoying your life and enjoying what we have here in the area.
That's such a big part of the quality of life. I mean, if all you're doing is working or, you know, trying to, you know, just make ends meet, and that can happen a lot of times in this kind of in this kind of economy, to get that sort of sense of, oh, we got to put your nose to the grindstone. So to be able to, you know, enjoy things and, you know, get some stress relief, I think is really an important part of
and
of
all
life.
of this adds to the value for those of us who are homeowners.
Absolutely.
You know, all of this adds to the value of our property, right? And
That's right.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, on that note, we are out of time. I want to thank you both for being our guests on Real Conversations.
My pleasure.
We want to thank you for watching Real Conversations with Lisa and Susan.